Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to the show. A little bright right now. Hold on. We can soften it up a little bit in here. There we go. Todd, welcome back.
Thank you. Thank you.
How
Happy to
are we
be
feeling
back.
today?
Oh, man. The best I've felt in about 10 days.
Hell yeah. Oh yeah. That's what
Holy
we like to
shit.
hear.
It
That's what we
was
like to hear, baby.
it was an experience. That's for certain.
Dude, COVID's never fun.
Holy shit. Here's the thing. I made it like 2.5 years through all of this. Not really ever being sick one time.
Right.
And then Mary starts feeling bad. Declan starts feeling bad. I know it's inevitable. And I was out of commission for like 3 days. And I felt like such a piece of shit. Like I couldn't really help Mary with much. She felt better between the two of us. So she was pretty much helping with Declan full time. And then they were feeling better and I was still feeling shitty. So I had to like stay away. Like it was nuts, dude. Absolutely insane. I just don't like, as an adult, when you get sick, it feels like it's 10 times worse because you just don't get sick as much, right? Like, I don't know how it was for you when you were younger, but I used to get strep throat like every winter. Like right around Super Bowl time, I would always get strep throat. And
at one point, I asked to get my tonsils taken out, so I couldn't get it.
Right. And I like
never got them out, by the way.
It felt like strep throat for adults. That's basically what I had, or like that's what my symptoms were, at least.
Oh, dude, it sucks.
Yeah, and I like the first day I was having like hallucinations.
Ryan, what up, baby? Thanks for liking the video.
What's up, Ryan? Yeah, it was fucking crazy.
Rob me in the building.
I'm so happy that I feel better. I don't have to deal with that shit. The worst thing that's coming of it is I have to wear a mask at work, and I will happily do that to feel like I'm productive again because I just felt like a complete bag of ass.
Man, I'll tell you what, that shit kicks your ass. Like it's no joke. It's no joke, Chad.
Oh man,
if you haven't had COVID, it sucks.
Rob, thank you, sir. I'm happy to be back. It is wonderful to get on the screen and get some sports talk in. I feel like I've been fucking talking Mary's ear off for the last week, and I know she was so ready for me to go back to work. She could be like, "Oh, it wasn't that bad." I hated being around myself for a week too. Like I can't imagine what it was like for her after day 5 or 6. So she's the most patient woman in the history of time managing 2 small children. So good for her.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob says at work now. I want to go back to.
Fuck.
I don't know. I wouldn't want to go back to a COVID world. That shit was. I mean, don't get me wrong. It'd be great for the stream because at that point nobody can do anything, so they're just sitting there watching content creators.
Right.
But I don't know. I don't miss it. I don't miss it at all. I don't like. I mean, I drank so much. When I mean I drank gallons. I drank alcohol by the gallons, Chad. Yeah. Like each week.
Right.
There was nothing else to do.
Dude, it was not great. It was not great. I'm happy to be interact. I mean, I never so when I was working for CarMax, we existed through the pandemic, but it was like skeleton crew, and we were working like 5-hour shifts, and it was like I'm some people weren't fortunate enough to not, or a lot of people got furloughed during that time, but like, dude, I would be there and we'd just be sitting in the office and I would just be like, what are we doing here? Like I at one point in time, I told my boss, like, if I can guarantee my job back, I'll take the furlough and I'll just go do like Instacart or something and actually like be productive. It was awful.
Yeah. Enterprise sucked.
I bet.
I won't get into that, but, all right. Rob said be home in like an hour. If you guys are still going, I'll stop back in. Perfect. Appreciate it, man. Enjoy the rest of your shift. Hopefully it goes quick.
We'll see you back, Bubba.
Ryan coming in with a comment. Was anybody's Derby predictions correct? I believe most everybody's were correct. I believe most of us picked Juan Soto to take the cake. I picked Big Meat Pete, so I was wrong. I took Pete Alonso. Excuse me. So I was incorrect, but I believe everybody else took Juan. Is that right?
Yeah, I mean, I did have a little for whatever reason at work. This is like the thing that nobody knows sports, but people were like doing a little pool for the home run derby. So I won a like a voucher for our cafeteria for the week. So
there you go.
Because I was the only.
Is the food decent at least?
No, it's terrible, but
Sick. Hey, it's free food.
Yeah, and like there were more votes for Albert Pujols than there were for Juan Soto. So maybe people didn't really know what they were doing, and I took advantage of them. But
they just took the biggest name that they knew.
Yeah,
he's been around for 2 decades.
Yeah. So I took advantage of it. I did. Here's the thing: is like in the home run derby, there's not a three-peat. There's always somebody that takes the reins after back-to-back years. And Soto shelled out last year, and without like Salvador Perez having the second best performance ever behind Pete Alonso's like best performance ever, Juan Soto was right in the running last year too. It's just that Salvi and Big Meat Pete decided to hit like 90-something home runs between the two of them or something ridiculous last year.
Right.
But Juan Soto,
who did you have winning the Derby?
Bro, Juan Soto is nuts. So I think the bigger thing, if we're gonna talk Juan Soto, let's talk about him not taking the deal from the Nationals.
Declined. Right? What was it? He declined $440 million for 15 years. Over 15, is that right?
14 and $440 million.
Jeez,
and so you think about that. So think about the way that baseball is kind of.
That's basically progressed. The rest of his career.
Yeah. Well, no, he's only 22.
Oh shit.
Think about it. Like,
well, I mean, by that time he's 36. You know, who knows?
Right. But I mean, shit. By that time, he could have 750 home runs. The dude's on pace to hit 600 plus.
True.
But think about Juan Soto is right now a top 10 player in baseball. Right. In terms of just overall ability. I mean, 2 years ago, all he could do was hit home runs. Now he's got a better glove. He's got a strong arm. He hits for power. He hits over 275. He's pretty much one of 4 5-tool players in baseball right now. I would consider him a 5-tool guy because he also has good above average speed. He's worth $500 million now. Let's just call it what it is. He's worth $500 million. There's going to be one of the big, either New York or Los Angeles is going to offer this dude a $500 million contract.
Insanity.
So what's Shohei worth? Is he worth $600 million?
That dude might be the first like $750 million contract. I mean,
right, because he's the same. It's the same scenario, right? He's 24, right? I need to fact check myself there.
He's dominant on the mound. He's got one of the best swings in baseball. He's playing out of his mind right now. And yeah, we thought last season was just kind of it could potentially be a one and done with Shohei, but obviously he's proving that this is a perennial talent.
Yeah, this is year over year for him. This is last year was not a fluke. Nope. If he is healthy, he is the best athlete in baseball.
100%.
He's one of my 4 or 5 tools, right? Like, can you call him a 6-tool player because he's also right now statistically a top 10 pitcher in baseball? Like, yeah, it's absolutely insane.
Yeah, no, he's. Well, people don't understand what they're witnessing right now with Shohei. You will never see this again.
Well, it's going to be the last time we saw this was Babe Ruth, right? And even once Babe Ruth realized he was a slugger, he stopped pitching. I mean, they're honestly, I don't think there's ever been somebody that does the same thing that Shohei does right now. And I don't think I agree with you. I don't think there ever will be. I don't know if there's a talent out there that has the ability to give you 175 innings and hit 40 home runs. Because it's just it's a video game. It's not.
And we're talking about good innings too.
Yeah,
these aren't bad innings at all. These are
let me pull
6,
up
7 innings, 1 hit, 2 hit baseball, like consistently.
Let's see.
Yeah, pull it up. I'd love to see it. Chat, how we feeling tonight? This is Townhall Tuesday, so if you guys have questions, please make sure to throw them into the chat. Sorry, I'm leaning over right now. I'm scratching my ankle. Saturday, I got absolutely lit up with mosquito bites. I passed out in a pool chair, and I woke up the next day. I have like 27 bug bites on my right ankle to my toes, and I've got like I don't know, like 25 on my left foot.
Oh God.
Yeah, my feet look like they have like chicken pox.
That sounds awful.
Dude, it itches so bad.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah, it's terrible. I mean, I had a great time, and my feet just itch. POs should never exist. Pitchers drop. Oh, sounds like herpes. Nope, not quite that. I don't know if you can get herpes on your foot, but man, it might be. Who knows? God damn.
Let's see.
Dude, like, once I start scratching, I can't stop.
Here's the thing is that Baseball Reference is even like, it's kind of derping me because it's only showing me.
Are you looking at what? Shohei's age?
No, I'm trying to find his fucking pitching stats.
Shohei Ohtani.
I need some extended stats here. That's what I'm looking for.
So you need to pull up more Ohtani pages, batting splits, pitching game logs.
For whatever reason, it was going nuts. So,
all right, I got his standard pitching right here.
I need
career 3.16 ERA. He has started 50 games. He's allowed 203 hits. He's only allowed 29 home runs in 270 innings. 96 walks. There's 345 strikeouts. This is over basically 2.5 seasons. What are you looking for?
I'm trying to find quality starts and then his WAR when he pitches.
Right now his WAR is 8.2.
That's fucking ridiculous.
8.2 wins above his replacement on the mound.
He's a DH. Well, his career WAR as a DH is 20. So that's pretty damn good. If you take the average of the two things that he does, he's right around 14 total WAR. Right. Yeah.
The dude's a machine.
Yeah, it's insane.
The Madden rating drama is happening again. So who got rated poorly?
So there's a lot of it is all. So they released all the Madden ratings. Jamar Chase didn't get rated in the top 10. There was a big stink about that.
Why didn't he? Who was above him?
I'll tell you in a second. Hold on. So it's Devontae Adams at 99 overall. Whatever. The last one you'll laugh because we've had this. It's like a running joke on Rally Tell Sports. So it's Devontae Adams at 99, Kupp at 98, Tyreek Hill 97, DeAndre Hopkins 96, Diggs 95, Justin Jefferson 93.
So they skipped 94.
Yeah, there's no ranked 94. Mike Evans is a 92.
Okay.
Terry McLaurin and Keenan Allen are both 91s, and Amari Cooper is a 90. So, in theory, right, Corey and I, the argument that we made still defeats your argument. So, according to Madden, Amari Cooper is the top 10 wide receiver.
Would you say Jamar Chase is worse than Amari Cooper?
No, I wouldn't.
Okay, so then your argument's null and void.
Well, according to Madden,
you disagree with it.
Well, we're not talking about all the additional parts of it. Just the bare bones of the argument. We're technically correct. Madden agrees with us. I don't agree with
bullshit.
Him being right.
I will fucking die on that hill. I will die on that hill. I think Amari Cooper is a great talent, but I think there are 10 better receivers in the league than Amari Cooper.
I think A.J. Brown is a better overall receiver than Amari Cooper.
I would agree when he's healthy.
Yeah. I don't know. It's just the Mike Evans one, I think, is like the first time ever in Mike Evans' career he's been rated accordingly based on his talent level, because I think he's the most undervalued wide receiver in the NFL in today's game.
Yeah,
he's unbelievable. His career stats are just so stuffed to the gills, and the only thing that hurts him is that he's not a touchdowns guy. He doesn't get in the end zone a lot, but the dude is consistently top 10 in receiving yards and top 15 in catches.
Mike Evans, you need to move the chains. You throw it to Mike Evans.
Tom Brady said it's the best target he's ever had. Like, and that's in 2 years of throwing to him. And he was one of the integral reasons that he came back out of retirement, because Mike Evans was like, dude, you can't do this. We got work to do still. We got championships to win. And Tom finally was like, yeah, you're right. We should probably still play together. So it's nuts.
Could you imagine Mike Evans getting the best quarterback to ever play the game, and then he retires 2 years later? Who's gonna throw me the ball now?
Right. Yeah, dude. So let's see. So I'll give you the tight end one too, because I think that there's also somebody in here. There's some people in here who are overvalued. So Travis Kelce at a 98, George Kittle at a 97,
given.
Mark Andrews at 93.
Good with that.
Darren Waller's a 91.
Good with that.
TJ Hawkinson is an 89.
Okay, I like that.
But Kyle Pitts is an 87.
Well,
I disagree with that.
Based on his production, based on his production, that TJ Hawkinson was much better than Kyle Pitts last year.
Hawkinson was hurt. He's hurt all the time. I guess you can't take injuries into equating how somebody's talent level is, but nope. I don't know. Zach Ertz is still an 84. He's not an 84 in real life anymore. That's a bad for him.
I'd probably put him like an 81, 79. I mean, I'd probably keep him 80. I'd probably keep him in the 80s. I think he's an 81, 82, but 84 is a little high. No, I think Kyle Pitts has the ability to be a top 3 tight end in this league. He's got the size. He's got the talent. He just needs to figure it out. You got to think Mariota. So he had an older Matt Ryan, who clearly the Colts think that there's still value left in him. And now he's got Marcus Mariota, who is statistically, we talked about on here, he's not terrible, right? He doesn't have bad career splits, but he's also not a guy. He's not my 2-minute drill guy, right? And Kyle Pitts is a guy that can win you a 2-minute drill. 100%. So it's hard to equate what his true ability is, because I don't think that number one, he doesn't have Calvin Ridley, right? He's not going to play this year. They just don't have the weapons around him to protect him, to give him the support that he needs to put up the level of stats, say that like a Gronkowski did when he was in New England, or like a Travis Kelce having Tyreek Hill and Pat Mahomes, and at one point in time he had Kareem Hunt, and even a guy like Mark Andrews. Watkins was there too. I mean,
right. Or you get a guy like Kittle, who is completely the opposite of that, and has Jimmy G as his quarterback, who throws for 150 yards a game, and Kittle's like 95 of those yards until Debo steps in, and now he's helped their offense significantly. But
right,
I love when the Madden stuff comes out, because number one, I think it's inevitable. There's a sense of pride that comes to an athlete on being rated in Madden, because every kid plays Madden growing up, right?
Absolutely.
If you like sports, you play Madden. It is what it is.
I played it.
Yeah, right. Me too. But I played it, and I played the shit out of it on PS2. Yeah. I played it every year. Every year that it came out on PS2, I had it. Absolutely. And then every year it came out on PS3, I had it. Yep. So it's one of those things where, like, you grew up playing the game, and then you get to the league, and you're like, all right, what's my rating? And then you're a guy like Jamar Chase, who doesn't crack the top 10, and you're like, and Jamar Chase is like, what the hell?
No, that was bullshit. That might be one of their worst like misses in recent years. And
so I think the one that, to me, where I think the biggest miss is, and I don't know if Ryan has seen this or heard about this yet. So here's your your top 10 edge rushers, right, in terms of rankings. So Myles Garrett is a 99 overall.
Okay. Wait a minute. Wait. Where's Aaron Donald?
Edge rusher, not interior line, just edge rushers.
Oh, okay. All right.
So Myles Garrett's a 99. TJ Watt is a 96, which I think you could make the argument that he should be the 99.
Horseshit.
Yeah, I think you could make the argument.
I'll take TJ Watt over Myles Garrett 10 days out of 10. I don't care. That's not even a homer pick. That dude won MVP. That dude is an absolute machine.
And then you got Nick Bosa at 94, Von Miller at 92, Khalil Mack at 92. Right.
An old Von Miller?
You have Joey Bosa at 91, Cameron Jordan at 91, DeMarcus Lawrence at 90, Chandler Jones at 90, and Rashawn Gary at 89. Where the fuck is Chase Young? Where's Chase Young?
Yeah, they messed that all up. They messed that all up, dude. That's insane, dude.
Yeah, it feels.
How TJ Watt is not the dude that he continues to get bent over, left and right by people. I mean, that's just, you know what? I love it though. It's more fuel for his fire because that man loves proving people wrong. And like, you know, he didn't win it to Aaron Donald, 2 years ago, which he should have won. And then he finally won it last year. He had to almost break the league record for sacks. He tied it.
Right.
So maybe he just goes out and just smashes the record this year and just records like 25 sacks and just blows it out of the water.
So here's your 99s overall. So I'll give you the list of 99s.
Okay.
Trent Williams on the 49ers, the offensive lineman. I mean, he is the best lineman in football. There's proof to that. Devontae Adams is 99 again. Myles Garrett is a 99 again.
BS.
And that's your three that have been released right now as your 99 overall. So they haven't released running backs. Hold on. It's like, so tomorrow's running backs, Thursday's quarterbacks, Friday is quarterbacks.
So you said corners are first.
Yeah, corners Thursday. Friday is quarterbacks. And then Saturday, there's a fucking special that's going to be on ESPN about talking about the ratings.
That's pretty dope.
Yeah. Here's the thing is that the NFL's doing it right. I mean, the MLB The Show did nothing with ESPN, right? Nothing. And San Diego Studios has requested multiple times from Major League Baseball themselves to strengthen the partnership because Major League Baseball is going out and getting these gaming ambassadors, right? These guys that stream or post videos on YouTube and, these guys that are getting in with the community. And then the caveat to that is three of the top five went to the Home Run Derby last night. They didn't get tickets. They had to pay their way there. How stupid is that? If you are a content creator for an organization that is paying you, they pay these people to provide, they do these events, they do these announcements, whatever, and then you don't pay their way to get to the Home Run Derby or give them a stipend to get merchandise get, I don't know, fucking give them a booth at the Home Run Derby or the week. I mean, they have the futures game. They have the celebrity softball game. Why not before the Home Run Derby, give these guys, 2 or 3 hours before, give them a booth, set up a live stream event where these guys play MLB The Show against each other or get all-stars to play the game before the Home Run Derby and record it. Put it on ESPN, stream it on Twitch or YouTube, whatever your partnership is. They didn't do any of that. How do you expect to gain the younger fans when Madden goes out and does, they do the player league. Major League Baseball did it during COVID.
If they took I got this thought. If they took the top 8 MLB The Show content creators, gave them all one of the players in the draft or one of the players in the Home Run Derby, and then they had a virtual Home Run Derby before the actual Home Run Derby.
Yeah, they did, but they don't do.
It'd be sick, and then they televise it. How awesome would that be? I'd watch.
Right, me too. But they didn't do any of that. Instead, they run the fucking celebrity softball game at 11 p.m. on Saturday, whatever it was, and after the futures game, which, oh, by the way, wasn't on TV. If you didn't have Peacock or pay for the MLB TV subscription, you didn't get to watch the futures game.
That's terrible.
But don't worry, the celebrity softball game was on 10 o'clock on ESPN too, because that's more important.
Caroline, thanks for liking the video.
I don't understand Major League Baseball. I don't get what they're doing. They have
marketing strategies just dog shit.
There's just so many missed opportunities. We're two normal guys that just talk to each other, and I think that we've had 2 or 3 better ideas than Major League Baseball's had for streaming in the last decade. The best thing they did was have the Players League, but that was during COVID, and they weren't paying them, so these guys had to get on Twitch to get paid. So MLB wasn't paying them to do this event. Twitch put on that event for these guys to do the Players League, but they had to get Major League Baseball's permission to use the namesake and all that stuff. Yeah. But Major League Baseball still isn't doing anything with that. I just don't get it. Like, there's so many people that are on YouTube, that are on Twitch, that stream on that stream Facebook, whatever, that would be great for the Major League community and have 100,000 plus subscribers that are religiously watch every single video, every single live stream, donate to these dudes, subscribe. And baseball just was like, oh yeah, you're one of our gaming ambassadors. Here, we're going to give you a box suite at the stadium that you live closest to, and you're going to thank us for it. We're going to send you a box with some merch in it, but you have to wear it, and then you have to make these ads, and then there's parameters around it, and you sign a contract to do it. Like, it just feels like so many missed opportunities from Major League Baseball on getting more baseball back into the general community.
Arlo, hopefully he didn't.
He didn't. I was worried. I was honestly worried about him and Tig getting sick. I mean, they're mammals, so like they could get COVID, right?
Yeah, I would assume.
I don't
know. Brian said Eli Apple's about to be at 99 according to Madden. We'll see. We will see. But kind of sticking on the baseball trend, there's some news that came out today regarding minor league baseball contracts. I don't know if anybody heard about this, but I will just read you a little stat and then tell you what Rob Manfred said. Actually, I'll tell you what he said first. He said, I kind of reject the premise of the question that minor league players are not paid a living wage. I think that we've made real strides in the last few years in terms of what not only players are paid, even putting to one side the signing bonuses that many of them have already received. Follow that up with they receive housing, which obviously is another form of compensation. So I just reject the premise of the question. I don't know what else to say. So prior to the 2021 season, the league raised the minimum weekly salary at the rookie and short season levels from $290 a week to $400 a week. Class A from $290 a week to $500 a week. Double A $350 to $600, and Triple A from $502 to $700 a week. I don't know if y'all are real good at math, but that's a barely livable wage. $700 a week, even at AAA, that's what is that? $2,800 a month. I mean, you can live off that. It's not going to be anything great,
right? So here's the thing. I would just love to.
I would say AAA is livable. I think anything under AAA is pushing it.
So here's what Rob Manfred should do. He should say, okay, here's how I'm going to prove to you that this is possible. I'm going to go live off of the rookie ball salary, which is less than $1,000 a month, right? I want to say that again one more time. That is less than $1,000 a month to be a professional athlete.
Yep.
Right. Tell me where you can find it. What about, because they're not getting paid during the off season, right? So,
what does that average out to? I mean, they're playing 100 and so.
No, they don't play that many games. So rookie ball is probably, let's call it 70 games. So we'll call that 3 months of baseball, right? So
12 weeks.
So you make $250 a week, right? Isn't that what you said?
$290.
Okay. So $290 times 12, that's $3,500 in 3 months.
Yeah, go live off that for a year.
So say
Renting a decent apartment's like $1,000 now.
Right.
And that's that's halfway decent.
Right. So that's what I was going to say. So think about just the bare minimum. You get a 1-bedroom apartment in the off season when you're not getting paid, but you save your paycheck because in theory, right, you're being accommodated by the organization. So what about food? The Major League Baseball organizations aren't compensating each player for a meal. Well, they're not paying. Think about that. So that's all paid for, right? So take housing out of it, just all together. Oh, okay. The average person spends $100. Let's say $50 a week on groceries. $50 a week technically gets you 21 meals. That's what he's basically utilizing off of that. That's what some analyst somewhere said, that $50 a week for a single person can get you 3 meals a day, 2,000 calories a day, right? So 50 times 12 is $600. So you're at $3,480 minus 600. That's $2,880 that you have left over. So Major League, not all athletes are sponsored, and there are times where they have to buy their own equipment. Bats, gloves, batting gloves, cleats. So let's say you're not a sponsored athlete, because not every player is sponsored. They're just not everybody gets that contract, and you have to get 2 pairs of cleats. An average price for a pair of cleats right now is $140. So let's say that's another $280 off. So that's $2,600. Well, you need probably 10 wooden bats if you're not being supplied. So we'll minus $1,500 from that. Oh, my glove busted during the middle of the year. I need a new glove. Well, that's $300. So for three months, based off of all of that in these unforeseen circumstances, you have $800 to live off of in 3 months. That's your profit. Right. What if you have a car? Because you got to get to and from games. Because when these guys have home games, there's no transportation. So say you're like, I just won't do a car payment. Me and 4 of my teammates will ride share. We'll just do Ubers. Well, that's $500 in 3 months. So then you have $300 left over. Yeah. And who's to say that these guys that are playing rookie and low A ball are playing in an area where Lyft or Uber or whatever is readily accessible? Because there's a lot of teams that are in very rural areas of the United States or underpopulated areas or just non-metropolitan cities. And it takes 30 minutes to get an Uber from a stadium. So then you have to have a car. Then you have to have insurance. It is the most. I've never seen somebody insert their foot into their mouth so many times and just continue to think that it's okay. And it has been okay. The Players Association isn't doing anything about it. They can't really do anything about it. And the owners love him because he's pro-owner. Right. Because he's pro-revenue, right? He wants to make money for Major League Baseball. And Major League Baseball is still, even with attendance being down pretty much across Major League Baseball in entirety, and a lot of that is due to places like Oakland and Tampa and Cincinnati right now, and even Pittsburgh right now. Teams are still making more money than they did 5 years ago. So if you're Rob Manfred, when do you step in and say, okay, or even let's take him out of the equation. As a baseball fan, when do you say, all right, I've had enough. I can't support this anymore? Because say your best friend's son gets drafted in the 35th round of the Major League Draft, and he gets a $500 sign-on bonus. And he's getting paid $300 a week. So then he has to go to Puerto Rico to play, or sorry, maybe he plays in the fall pro league in Arizona, right? So he does that, and they get paid basically the same. Then he's got to go to Puerto Rico for the winter. So then you basically your professional athlete's son who didn't get a full scholarship for baseball. He maybe got only, let's say, half. He has student loans, and now he's elected to try out being a professional athlete, and he's got 6 months to basically save as much of that pro ball money as he can, then to start paying that $300 a month back over 40 years for his education. It's completely if Major League Baseball. Here's the thing: if you don't want to raise the wages, then say, all right, any athlete that has student loan debt, gone. We'll pay for it. Because most of these guys have student loans they're coming out of college. They're not full scholarship athletes. Baseball doesn't provide that many full rides. They just don't. Most baseball scholarships are less than half for because you got to think
it's not that popular.
No, well, colleges aren't going to give a bunch of full rides to baseball. They're going to use it if you're Florida State, even though you use it for football and basketball, and you use it for women's basketball to try to make sure that you're keeping the attendance in the winter months where you're getting people inside and you have more spots.
Yeah,
because that's business, right? But like baseball's not considering any of that. It's so gross, dude. I hate that. Inflation exists. I'm not trying to get political. I'm just call it what it is. Inflation. So the cost of living is 10% higher than it was 2 years ago, right? There's proof to that. That's economic inflation. All the things that have happened over the last 2.5 years, the cost of living has increased. They have not raised. They barely raised the minimum for a minor league player. Those guys could go and work at a Target and make more money every month than they do playing professional baseball.
That's not how it's supposed to work.
A non-skill qualified, minimal education position, and I'm not knocking people that work in retail. I did it for almost a decade, but you don't have to. You're not a skilled laborer to stock shelves or unload a truck or whatever. Like you are a body doing a job. So I could, if I get drafted in the 30th round, I'm better off just saying, you know what? I'll just skip. Baseball's not
the professional work world.
Yeah, baseball's probably not for me because I'm getting drafted here. I appreciate the opportunity, but I got a job offer in an entry-level sales position somewhere making at least 40 grand a year, which is more than I would make as a professional athlete. It is unbelievable. It's the one sport where there's that, like the one professional sport that exists in the United States where I can very confidently say that if you are not a part of the 0.00001% of athlete, right? The Sotos, the Trouts, the Harpers, those guys that are making $500 million, you are underpaid. If you are not getting the fat contract extension within your first 3 years of being a professional baseball player, you have been underpaid up to this point.
Yeah.
Look at the Pirates salary right now. Look, if when we get done, for anybody that's watching, go and look what the Pittsburgh Pirates average salary is on their roster. And I guarantee you that some of you that are watching are making more than some of these guys are being paid. And then you're paying your hard-earned money to go watch them be underpaid. So I just think about it that next time you go to a baseball game, just think about that.
That's crazy.
Because that's how I think about it now.
Yeah, Ryan said if he was in the minors, he'd go overseas right away. They get paid a lot more.
Absolutely. That's what there was a kid a couple of years ago that got drafted 10th overall. They couldn't, or 14th overall. They couldn't reach a deal. He's making $2 million a year in Japan. Perfect. He even said, he's like, I'm making 4 times more a year over here than I would be. And I'm working 100 times harder over there.
Yeah, that's crazy. Ryan said a guy I played college with got drafted by the Cardinals, got to AAA in 2 years, got his wife pregnant, went straight overseas and played for the Samsung Lions and made $1 million in 1 year.
and he took care of himself for probably 6 or 7 years after that.
Yep. That's crazy. It's sad, honestly.
Yeah.
It's sad.
That's why.
Go ahead.
There's so many of these guys that are grinding it through minor league ball, and I'm sure Ryan knows this too. He probably play with guys. You have to do all these camps in the off season for kids, and you're getting parents to pay you to give these camps or clinics, whatever you want to call them, and you have to do 4 or 5 of them before you go somewhere else to play more baseball, because you're trying to earn a quick $1,500 to $2,000 to be able to pay more of your expenses off. It's nuts. It's nuts, man. There was a guy that I played baseball with when we were in high school. He went to Miami. He played 4 years of baseball at Miami. He got drafted by the Reds, and he quit. His name was Seth Varner. He's a left-handed pitcher. He lived like on the east side of Cincinnati. He's from somewhere out there. So he got to Dayton. It wasn't performing very well, and he retired. And now he's like a lead contractor for a construction company on the east side of Cincinnati, because he can make more money doing that than trying to fucking figure out if he's going to be able to play baseball or not.
Right.
So rather than all of these uncertainties, he went with the sure money. He got his college education. He got it in business administration, and now he's using it being a project manager or a lead contractor for a large construction company. Like, it just makes sense.
Yeah.
When you're getting paid $300 a week and you are literally giving up all of your time, right? As a professional baseball player, when it is in season, you are giving up basically 19 hours a day, and then the rest of your time is to sleep. Because if you're a starting pitcher that day, right? You have to go through all of your routine to get ready to pitch. And then the day after you pitch starts the rehab to get ready for your next start. So it's not like there's really you don't get days off. You're literally working 7 days a week for 6 or 7 months, let's call it 6 months. And then as soon as that season is over, you have basically a 25-day break, and then you're going to play in the fall league, right? Hoping that you're basically just making sure that enough teams are watching you, because if it doesn't work out, say for the Guardians, hopefully a scout from the Padres is there and says, all right, this guy had a really good fall. His stats from this summer don't show it. Let's sign him. And then you got to go play in the Dominican and play against guys who are trying to make a chance, and you're trying to basically hone your craft, and you're trying to make a little money. Like, it's such a broken system.
I would agree 100%. I think it's one of the things that really makes the sport not attractive for very talented athletes, because it is such a grind, and they're not rewarded. I think there's a lot of people that would be excellent baseball players, but they're not willing to put up with the bullshit. They go play other sports and excel in those sports and go play those, like football, basketball, things like that. Because I mean, just imagine if you had the Russell Wilsons and the Trey Lances and all these guys that play, Kyler Murray's, that could be really good at football or really good at baseball. They're on a football field for a reason.
Yeah, absolutely. And look at all the guys that tried baseball first. They go back to the other sport, like Drew Henson that went to Michigan. So he got drafted. He played baseball for the Yankees organization. Didn't pan out. So he said, I'm at least going to get my shot at football. And he played football for 4 years, and it didn't work out for him. But like, you're right. I mean, if you say you're a multi-sport athlete in high school, and then you get fortunate enough that you could pick one or the other when you get to college, like a Jameis Winston, for example, right? So Jameis Winston goes to Florida State on a football and a baseball scholarship, and plays baseball for Florida State for 2 years, is somewhat overhyped based on him being Jameis Winston, but he could have played baseball his junior year, but he didn't. And he played football, and he picked football, and then he was a first-round pick or a number one, whatever he was. Was he a number one overall pick?
I believe so.
Yeah. So it's the same with Kyler Murray. These guys made the right fiscal decision. And maybe Jameis Winston could have been a good professional baseball player. I don't know, but he's gotten paid perfectly fine in the NFL and gets paid to be rehabilitated during the offseason, right? Like, these guys work out their contracts. So at football, at least, you can basically, you get paid during the season, but you can defer when you receive your paychecks, right? You can defer them to specific times or whatever it may be. There's a lot of athletes that do it. So, yeah, but baseball doesn't do that. Baseball doesn't give you that opportunity. You only get paid during the season.
Right. So Jeff Samardzija picked baseball. He did pick baseball. He was a really good pitcher as well. He was a great receiver.
I don't think he would have.
He was a great receiver at Pittsburgh, but I don't think he would have cut it in the NFL.
No, he went to Notre Dame.
Or Notre Dame, that's what it was.
Yeah, but I think you're right. I think he would have been too slow to be an NFL wide receiver. He was great in college though, because he was 6'6" or whatever he was.
Huge.
Yeah. And he had a good enough pro career. He also barely spent any time in the minors too, though. I think that did he come up with the Cubs?
Yeah.
Because he was a journeyman for a while. He was all around. I remember him he was even with the Giants, there's a couple other teams too, but you're right. I forgot about Jeff Samardzija. Good name drop, Ryan. Appreciate that. Had a ridiculous throwing motion. I'm shocked that he was able to pitch for as long as he did. That dude, his arm went in 3 different directions before he released it.
Nick, sorry I'm a little late on this. Thanks for liking the video, big dog. If you are in here and you
Nick.
have not liked the video yet, please make sure you smash that like button. Hit that share. It is Townhall Tuesday, so if you have any questions, please throw them at us. Yeah, I mean, the All-Star game's happening right now. I'm not even watching it. I don't know who's winning. I don't really care.
So I think so. Right now, the National League's winning 2-0. But they did do something right. They decided for this year, if the All-Star game is tied after the 9th inning, each team picks 3 players and they do X amount of swing home run derby, and whoever hits the most home runs wins the game. Great idea. Yes, that's a great idea. That's a great idea.
That actually sounds exciting.
That got decided today before the game. Yeah. Because remember a few years ago, they tied the All-Star game when Bud Selig was the commissioner, and people were like, what? You can't have a tie in the All-Star game. That's ridiculous.
Right. It doesn't work like that.
No, it's supposed to be an event, right? Like the NBA All-Star game wouldn't ever end in a tie.
No.
But
it'll run out 198 to 192, but
right, but you run out of pitching, and that's what happened. Both teams used all their pitchers, and there was nobody left. So Bud Selig made the decision to call it a tie. And then he was gone 2 years later.
He was also getting up there in age, so
yeah.
I think that had a little bit to do with it, but they probably forced him into retirement.
Yeah, probably so.
Manfred, piece of shit.
Yeah, he's a bum.
Yeah. Well, chat, what do you guys have for us this evening? There's not a crazy lot going on in the sports world right now. We are at the official dog days of sports for at least another week or two.
Yeah, we got a couple weeks until football. I think one thing I do want to bring up, just a fun fact that I wanted to share tonight.
Yeah.
The first ever 7-foot baseball player was selected in this year's draft.
Wow.
He's a pitcher. Yeah. First. So there's a couple of guys there's one currently that pitches for the Giants at 6'11", and then what's his name? John Rock. He pitched for a while. I don't know if he's still in baseball or not. But he was also 6'11". But this guy, Canadian guy,
was 6'10", right?
Yep, 6'10". This guy is officially without cleats 7 feet tall. So with cleats, he's probably about 7'2".
That is insane.
Yep. And
how hard does he throw?
I'm kind of digging into it a little bit, but there's the funny thing about this guy, and I think it's fucking awesome, is that he played for the Savannah Bananas after his college season was over.
Really?
Great idea. This is a great idea. Like, he got paid to do entertainment. He's 7 feet tall. They probably put him in a funny uniform with short shorts or something, and he got paid. And he probably, and I would imagine he loved every minute of it. I don't know. That's one of the reasons I get on TikTok every day is to watch whatever their posts are. Yeah. And I hate when it's their off season because it gets kind of dry and I get sad. Yeah. But that's really that type of minor league baseball is really starting to catch on across the country. There are now multiple teams across the United States that are kind of going down that entertainment baseball route and selling out every single night. So it's cool to see.
I'd be curious to know what they make. Ryan just said Bananas probably make more than AA ball.
They do. So there's a guy that works for Major League Baseball. His name is Jackson Olson. He travels to stadiums. He's like their social media guy. He's on TikTok. He's on Instagram. He goes live all the time. He goes to stadiums and eats shows the best food and best attractions within all these stadiums. And he got signed on the Bananas, and he gets paid more for them than he does by Major League Baseball to create content.
God, Major League Baseball's got to figure it out, man.
Crazy, bro.
It's just so old school. They're not getting up with the times.
Well, it's so large, right? Baseball. This is at least where my brain goes when I think about this. When you think about, so say the Cincinnati Reds organization as a whole, you have so you basically have 6 or 7 7 or 8 teams, within your organization, right? From MLB down to your your rookie Gulf Coast short season team. Each team carries a 25-man roster. So you're thinking, let's see, let me do the math because I'm of the generation where I need a calculator. That's 200 athletes, right? That you're paying. Somewhere in that ballpark. Let's 200 is a nice even round number. And for every level of it, you are paying coaches, scouts, staff, whatever, and you're paying their salary too. And that's Rob Manfred's. That's been his previous argument, right? It's well, Major League Baseball, the organizations are so large, we can't afford to do what the Rocket or the NBA or the NFL do. But here's the thing: is that MLS isn't paying their guys that they're on loan or whatever. They're not paying them less, or they're not paying their guys that are through their organization. They're paying these coaches top dollar through the MLS, through the youth leagues to get these kids ready to play professional sports. So why not pay the athlete a little bit more if you're baseball to maintain that and provide the drive for them to stick with the game? I think I'm sure that if you could find a former professional baseball player that didn't make it to the pros, I'm sure they would tell you that what they're doing now, working in the real world, pays them more than what they were paid as a baseball player. I've heard it from multiple accounts of former professional athletes former baseball players that I've talked to.
Yeah, Ryan, do you mean a minimum? He said, "Do you think there should be a max contract to be able to pay minors more?"
So maybe it means for professional baseball player, for the guys at the MLB level, what's the most you could pay them? I don't see
that happening.
I don't think
won't let it fly.
Yeah, that's exactly what I was going to say. I could see the argument, but the Players Association would never let that happen. They just fought tooth and nail and almost didn't have baseball to try to get players paid more just in general. Imagine if Major League Baseball said, "All right, you want to get these minor league athletes paid more? You can't earn more than $20 million a season." But then the first thing that the Players Association would say is "All right, revenue sharing. Show me how much you're making." Right? That's immediately where this goes, because every time that there's a lockout or the CBA is being discussed, it's always about revenue sharing. That's the main thing that comes up, because baseball is the only sport where you don't. It's a secret. It's a secret for these owners to share how much they make off of the players and the fans and all the likeness. Because here's the thing: if you're scrolling on Facebook, right, and the Fanatics ad pops up, and it shows what's on sale, and I'm guilty of this too, and I see a Johnny Bench jersey pop up or a Pete Rose jersey pop up, and you click on that website, guess who gets paid? The Reds. Fanatics take some of it too, but they get paid for the click too. So every time you go and look through and scroll for that jersey, you're still paying them.
Insane.
All that revenue adds up.
Yeah, but absolutely.
The kid that's been playing baseball for the last 11 years of his life and working in the summer while playing summer ball, and because his parents, can't afford to have him pay for, they can't afford to pay for it because now it's $4,000 to play fucking travel baseball.
Right.
And they're working a job to be able to pay for it. Now they're having to do the same thing when they get to the pro level, which is the thing that you're working towards, right? That's the thing you work towards your whole life if you're a baseball player, is to get to the pros. And you get drafted and you're like, all right, now I'm a professional athlete. It's a tragedy, bro.
Money's ruining baseball at all levels. Money's ruining this country at all levels. But yeah, no, it's it would be nice to, you know, if you to say you're a professional athlete, you should be able to at least afford. You know, I think anybody that says, hey, I'm a professional baseball player should at least be making like $100K. At least.
Well, I think
maybe even like 50 or 60, like something like livable.
Right. So if you make $50,000 a year, you can live off of that as a single person. You can find an apartment. You can pay for car insurance. You can pay for groceries, utilities, blah, blah, blah. You can live off of that. I can't imagine living off of $3,500 for 3 months.
No. That would be terrible.
I mean, shit, even think about like when we lived in Dayton and we lived in those shitty apartments. Like that I'm sure we spent more than $3,500 over 3 months, right? Between bills and groceries and rent and all that stuff, or damn near close.
600. Yeah, that's $1,800 of that 3,500 gone. So you got $1,700 left over 3 months.
Right. So $600 of that goes to all your bills, right? Over the 3 months, heat, electric, all the stuff, right? Because it's probably not included.
Right.
So then you have $900 left over, and if you have a car, you probably have a car payment,
car note. You know, let's say on a cheap end, $200.
That's if you buy a shitty car,
a piece of shit.
Yeah.
Then you're left with $700. You got groceries for 3 months. That's what that would be. $200 a month to be $600, but you got $100. $50 a week for groceries, gone. You have $100.
Yep.
You have $100 for entertainment, or whatever the hell you want to spend it on. That's it. That's all you got.
It's nuts, dude.
Oh, then you have car insurance. There you go.
Right.
Well,
and you're 18 or 19 years old. You don't have any driving history. You're paying $150 a month. So now you actually don't have any money. So now you're putting one of those things on a credit card.
$200.
Right. It's nuts, dude. So crazy. So crazy. I cannot believe that we have to have this conversation about somebody in a United States being a professional athlete, not being able to live.
A 10U kid is paying more for 50 games a season than players are making in rookie ball. It's absolutely right.
That's an absolute fact. Ryan's thrown some numbers. We've talked separately, and he's thrown some numbers at me for what teams are charging kids to pay to play, and it's daunting. But yet, the Southwest Ohio League that these travel teams play in Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, is I believe it's one of the top 5 largest travel baseball leagues in the whole fucking country. Because there's no cap on how many teams can play in it. You can have as many teams as you want to. Yeah. So can you afford it? Yeah. And then you want to play in 3 tournaments, you better do fundraisers, because you're going to ask parents like, all right, well, it's $500 a kid on the low end to play in this league, right? To just play in the league, to play games.
And then you have the lodging for each one of those destinations, food, gas.
It's nuts,
man. Oh man. That's just ridiculous. That's so much money.
Just as an adult, and I'm sure Ryan feels this firsthand now, because he is, he's a coach and he has a son that's doing this.
Right.
I appreciate my parents. Like I actually, there's a part of me that feels bad for underappreciating them for all the things that, my mom and my dad did for me so that I could play, 50 games when I was 10, but shit, dude, by the time you're 12, I'm sure Ryan knows this too. You're playing 80 to 100 games because you start after Valentine's Day. You don't stop till the last weekend in July, but like all the like trips and rush hour to get me to a game and all these tournaments, like I'm so thankful that I got the opportunity to do it. I think it helped me a lot to become an adult. But like, I think about, Declan's gonna, maybe if he wants to play sports or play something at a competitive level, or even not a sport, maybe it's a musical instrument, whatever. It's gonna be it's the same thing regardless.
Right.
Say he wants to play the piano. I don't know how. Mary doesn't know how. Now I got to pay somebody to give him piano lessons, and that's
right.
$200 for an hour and a half of time, and you do it twice a week.
Yeah. A week payment couldn't buy a bat now. Yeah, you're right. I mean, it's just ridiculous. It's getting so expensive to play sports that there's a lot of kids that are extremely talented that aren't getting the opportunity to play because they can't afford it.
No, who has $1,200 for the essential equipment now?
Yeah,
because an aluminum. If you're say you play at the high school level, so you're using a BB core bat. That bat at the bare minimum, if you want a good one, not a shitty one from Played Against Sports or whatever, or Dunham's, whatever. Insert off-brand sporting goods store here. You're paying $300 at the very bare minimum. That's your entry level bat. If you want the top tier bat, it's $500 to $600. I was actually just looking it up because I was talking to a coworker of mine. His son is getting ready to start high school ball, and he's getting ready to start high school, and he wants to play high school baseball. So he's going to have to start using the adult size bats. And he's like, "Do you have any recommendations?" And I was like, "You better pay off that credit card, man, because you're about to drop $3,000 in a matter of weeks to get him all the stuff that he's going to want to play high school baseball." Because if an adult size pair of cleats is
a couple $100.
Yeah, $200. Yeah, batting gloves are $50, right? Unless you want the Franklin ones at Played Against Sports. No kid's going to wear those.
Good gloves going to run you a couple $400.
Yep. And then now it's like you got to fucking wear the arm sleeves and all this stuff. Ugh. It's nuts, dude. It is so crazy. Like I remember being 14, going into our freshman year, and I wanted to learn I wanted to be able to swing an adult bat. And I told my dad that, and he was like, "You're going to work outside the next 4 weekends, and I'm going to take you to Played Against Sports, and we're going to buy a used one because I'm not going to waste my money on a new bat for you to learn how to hit." And I did, and I worked my ass off. And we literally went to Played Against Sports, and I got like a 2-year-old $50 Rawlings Velo bat, which at that point in time was like it was basically dead. And then he said, "All right, you're using this thing until it starts cracking." And it did. And it cracked my freshman year. But it's parents are, I'm sure Ryan's seen this too. Parents are just doing whatever for their kids now because our generation is becoming the parents of the younger kids. And some of us in our age range weren't as fortunate as we were, where our parents taught us how to earn to play, right? That's what my dad kind of called it to me. It was like earning to play, or you earn your keep, basically, right. Whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But there were a lot of kids that were our age that didn't have that their parents coddled them. So now it's even worse and it's more expensive, and they're making legitimate real life sacrifices so their kid has the best equipment, like not paying the full electric bill or making the minimum payment on the credit card that you keep buying all the shit for your son. And then all of a sudden the mortgage gets backed up and you're putting yourself in a real bind. Like that happens all the time now.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, Ryan said he had a kid last year as a complete stud. Said he let his parents do a payment plan, $50 every 2 weeks so he could play. Most coaches don't accept payment plans.
Nope. Good for you, dude. That's the problem is that you are 1% of coaches in travel ball.
Yeah. You're the guy that's giving a kid that normally wouldn't have a shot.
Yeah, that doesn't happen.
It could potentially change his life, and you'll be the guy to thank for it. So
yeah,
feel good about that, man, because you are not a lot of people.
No, it sucks.
Yeah, it's sad. It's sad. I think baseball will be in a much better spot if they could find a way to make it more cost effective, and get a lot more talent coming up through the pipelines. It would make it more interesting, not only for the fans, but it would make it a more attractive sport for younger athletes, to come and give it a shot.
Yeah. I'm looking something up real quick.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, once again, this is Townhall Tuesday. Ryan, appreciate you coming through and putting all these comments in the chat and vibing with us. We appreciate it as always, my friend. You come in clutch and you definitely give us a lot of awesome talking points. So we definitely appreciate you coming through. If anybody else has anything to add, please feel free to throw it in the chat. I saw Josh come in here and like the video, bro. Thanks for coming in. What do you got for us, Todd?
So I was looking up because you said that there should be something for baseball. So Major League Baseball does have the RBI program where basically every team gets an inner city. It's pretty much free for kids from like 8 to 18. It was fairly new when we were in high school. I remember playing the Reds RBI team at it's off of like, it was in Finneytown. Maybe it was Finneytown. I can't remember. But it was like all of like the great Cincinnati public schools. It was basically they picked 2 or 3 kids from each high school and they put this roster together. And mind you, the last summer that I played, it was just like a bunch of kids that we went to high school with, and we rolled them in 4 innings. And here's the thing, like we weren't great. We were fine. Like we won probably more than we lost. I don't remember. It's 10 years ago, 12 years ago at this point. But like it wasn't even a competition. Like one of the kids they pitched against us threw probably at 16, 17, 18, 15. I don't know how old he was. He probably threw like 50 miles an hour.
That's BP.
Right. But they're putting these kids, that's Major League Baseball's response is like, we're going to take your inner city public school and we're going to help you put teams together and we're going to pay for you guys to play. And then we're going to do this big tournament at the end of the year. And then that's it. That's their contribution. But there's still tens of thousands of kids that can't afford to do that. And there's no city youth, like there's no recreational leagues anymore, right? There's no like FYBA that we had. That's almost non-existent. They could barely scrape together teams.